Hey, it's William Christopher Ford, and this is 52 Masters. In this episode, we are with Dr. Carl Totton, Kung Fu Master, Keeper of the Flame, one of the most knowledgeable martial artists I've ever met, and a very magical and mystical being. So that being said, let's get to training. I am 51 years old. I've been a practitioner of Okinawan Shorin-ryu karate since I was 7. There were some who would call me a master. I assure you, I am not. I believe that the true expert is someone who still has a student's heart and a beginner's mind. This year, to celebrate turning 52, I'm setting out to learn from 52 other disciplines, each from its own master. Some things I've tried before, others I'm a first-day beginner like anyone else. 52 weeks, 52 new skills. Christopher Ford, and this is 52 Masters. So we're here with Dr. Carl Totton. Thank you for having me at this beautiful place, the Douglas Institute. Special guest, my old buddy Rob Moses. What the heck are you doing here, man?
Being humbled, yes.
Well, the privilege is mine. All martial artists in China were interested in health. They were interested in meaning and spirit, and they were interested in self-defense. Because no matter how healthy you are, or how spiritual you are, if you let somebody pound you into the ground and beat you up, it's not going to work. There goes your health, there goes your spirituality. You know, as my teacher used to say, "Oh, next life." All right. See, so everything, the martial arts was like the perfect blend of all of these attributes that allowed a person to become their total self and to have everything they needed in one practice. You know, the meditation was there, the Qigong, kind of the Chinese yoga, was there for health, and then the same movements, the Qi and the yogic movements put together, became the basis of things like Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and the other Chinese martial arts.
How long have you how old were you when you started learning martial arts?
I was official when I had my first real teacher. I was 15. Well, a couple of my friends, we'd been kind of just messing around, you know, looking at comic books and you know, reading kind of simple martial art magazines. Right. You know, trying to teach ourselves for a couple of years, which didn't work too well. And so we said, you know, we need a real teacher. So we started looking around. And we heard about Wong teaching Kung Fu in Chinatown because one of my friends had learned Kung Fu in Hong Kong when he was a young boy. So he said, we should learn Kung Fu, but it was too far. And so we're looking around at different places, and then a few blocks from where we lived and went to school, John Leoning opened up. We went to look, fascinated. We just blew our minds what we saw, because he was teaching, you know, the Kempo, which is kind of a combination of Chinese and Japanese and Okinawan systems, and he was teaching Kung Fu, because remember, he learned from Wong, and that was the person we really had wanted to learn from. So this was like the best of all worlds, and he was a great teacher. This is called Wu Qi posture. Wu Qi. It means the void or emptiness, because we want to be kind of at zero, at neutral point when we start. We don't want to start, you know, already in a particular posture. We want to start in a loose void posture, because from here we can go anywhere. Now, my salutation involves 3 symbols. So bring your hands up here. See, notice that the shape is like a square. And then cross them and draw a circle. And finally, your hands come together and you have a triangle. So sacred geometry, which is kind of the basis of all life everywhere, is the basis of my style. And then you're going to turn your hands in towards your heart, down to your dantian, kind of go up here to your third eye, and open that in a big circle all around your body. Come return to your heart, place of unity consciousness, and then back, and you're ready to begin. See, so even the salute tells a story. Yes. And about how to link your body, mind, and spirit together so that you can become a whole human being. Okay. So now, imagine you have a handful of sand, and you're going to take a breath, inhale, and you're going to pour that sand into your bottom hand. golden sand. Now you're going to take that sand, inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to pour it back into this hand. Use your imagination. You know, there's a saying in Chinese martial arts that imagination becomes reality. And if you can imagine something, then you can feel it. And if you can feel it, you can do it. And a lot of these things involves taking your intention, your mind, and then infusing that with energy, and then putting that in your body. See? So we want mind, energy, and body combined. And that is the basis of all the Chinese internal martial arts.
You got to study with...
yeah, with his teachers.
With Master Wong.
Yeah, Master Ark Yui Wong. His other teacher was the Taoist Master Shi Lu. So I studied many, many, many years with both of them. And others kind of in that family, you might say. You know, Kung Fu is kind of like they say in Hawaii, an ohana. You know, it's a family. And so one of Ark Wong's senior students was a man named Ralph Shun. And so I studied with him even before I studied with Ark Wong. Ralph Shun's partner running the school out in Huntington Park was the big Samoan master named Tiny Hamia Lafiti, who also was a master of Lima Lama, who he had learned from his cousin, Tino Tulio Lasega, another student of Ark Wong. So you see how Ark Wong was kind of like the hub, and then as the spikes coming out were all these other great teachers.
I mean, a lot of people came through Ark Wong, right?
Almost everybody.
You know, Ed Parker, yeah, and
Danny Inosanto.
Dan Inosanto and Ron Chappell even?
Ron Chappell.
Okay.
It was Ron Chappell's first teacher.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so Ark Wong, because he came here so long ago, 1921, he came to the United States. And so he was really the first one to really get Kung Fu started in so many places. He taught in Los Angeles, then he moved up to like Oakland and San Francisco, came back to LA in 1928 and taught till the end of his life in Los Angeles. Now most of the time, of course, he was teaching only Chinese. But in 1959, he opened the door to people of any race and started teaching anyone who had a sincere desire to learn. And over the years, he taught thousands and thousands of people. Everyone respected him. They called him the old man.
What was it like training with him?
The old man.
What was it like?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you knew that this man was a living piece of history. You know, he was born in like 1900 and came to the United States in 1921, already a master. He knew so many styles. His famous styles were what's called the 5 family styles, Choi, Li, Phut, Mok, and Hung, and the 5 animals from the Shaolin Temple, the tiger, the dragon, the leopard, the snake, and the crane. But he knew much more than even all of that, because he had forms for like the monkey, he had the eagle, he had the wolf, he had the bear. I mean, on and on and on. This man must have known hundreds of different forms. So he was like a living encyclopedia and a treasury from the history of China. And so being with him was just, every second was fascinating, because you really felt like you were like in an old Chinese movie or something. you know, with this old master who had like all the treasures of China in his grasp.
Sure.
So it was fascinating to learn from him.
And Douglas Wong.
Another one of his students.
Douglas Wong was also a Ark Wong student as well, right?
And Al Leong,
right?
And so many other people.
Yeah.
And so Doug and I, we met before we went to Ark Wong's. We were in college together. Okay. And just a group of guys who found each other, say, "Oh, you're interested in martial arts? So am I." Yeah, started working out. And then we started working out together, you know, in between classes. Yeah. And we'd have classes from like 8 to 12, and then from 12 to 4 or 5, we'd just work out. We'd find an empty classroom and just work out together every day. Nice. You know, 5 days a week, we'd just work out. Sure. And then at night, we'd go to a school and train together. You know, we were taking a white eyebrow style class together. I also was studying Aikido at the LA Aikikai at the same time, and then of course we knew about Ark Wong, so then we finally started training directly with Ark Wong in Chinatown, and around the corner Bruce Lee had a school there, so sometimes I'd actually sneak over there and watch them training, because that was a closed class. You couldn't just
I used to like look through the mail slot.
I'd peek through the mail slot and watch classes. You know.
Got it. And mostly it was Danny Inosanto teaching the classes, correct?
Yeah, it was Danny Inosanto, Daniel Lee was in there.
Got it.
And all sorts of really well-known people now were in their training all the time.
Yeah, that's, man.
But again, you felt like you were in a movie. You know, it's history. This is Bruce Lee's school. You know?
Right.
You know, the Green Hornet was already out.
Yeah, he was already kind of pretty famous at that time, at least from the Green Hornet. Yeah.
Of course, he'd become even more famous in a couple of more years.
Oh, sure.
You know, when the Big Boss and all those movies came out, and eventually, Enter the Dragon. I mean, then he became probably the most famous in the world. So now your energy is flowing, right?
Yes.
And once you have energy flowing, now let's practice some energy cultivation. Qi Gong means energy work, working with your energy. Let's do the beginning of Tai Chi Qi Gong. So bring your hands here under your stomach. There's an energy point right here called the Dan Tian. It's similar to the chakras in the Hindu system. And the Chinese talk about 3 Dan Tians, right? The one here, the low one, the second one, which is the heart, and then the third one, which is the third eye here. So all Qigong is working with those Dan Tian. So here's Tai Chi Qigong. Bring your hands up to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Push your palms down and stretch your fingers forward, like you're trying to push a little button. You can't quite reach it. And relax. Okay. Now bring your hands up to the sides like this, with the wrist bent. Inhale. Now exhale. Stretch those fingers out. Again, trying to reach those buttons. Can't quite reach them. And again, relax your wrist. And now bring it here to the front. Inhale. Exhale. Stretch those fingers out like you're trying to send beams of light out to infinity. And again, relax your wrist. Now, cross your arms. Doesn't matter which one's on top. Let's make a circle. Inhale, touching the 3 dantians. And exhale, squeeze into your chest. Inhale, separate. Exhale, let them float down to your side. Now put your hands on the back of your thighs. Bend your knees. Bring them over your kidneys. Inhale. Exhale. Bounce. 1, 2, 3. Bounce up. Inhale. And exhale. Now, reach up. Go up on your toes. Reach. Inhale up. And lower yourself down. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. And gather chi. And relax. That is part 1, section 1 of Tai Chi Qigong. We do that at the beginning of every Tai Chi class. That's section 1. It's actually got 3 sections. That's the first section. That's the whole thing right there.
Just some of the things you do. I mean, first of all, I'm trying too hard to move like water, so I think I'm moving through ice water. I'm doing like this, Same thing when we did that episode with Sifu Rob, and I'm trying to use the physio stick, and I'm just like, But once you stop thinking about it a little bit, then it kind of just, But I overthink it, and I want to. It's like, well, how does the move? Where am I supposed to be?
Right.
And so on and so forth. But a lot of fun, and I definitely felt that that energy in my hands, and then
learning how to go with the flow.
You go with the flow.
Now, all of these moves that look kind of flowing and pretty, and these are breathing exercises, if we change these just a little bit, we have martial art. Can you believe it? like this that I'm doing right here. So, this man on the street comes up and, like a bully, tries to punch me in the mouth, okay? And this move that I just did, watch. And then now what can I do? See, so all these things that look so fluid and flowing actually can be very dangerous moves here. And I come here, I snap his elbow, right? Dislocate his shoulder, throw him over my shoulder. I mean, all of these things that look so pretty, and they are pretty, have other applications and meaning, which is really cool, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And that's one of the interesting things about the art, is that the same move that you're doing for health and energetic and spiritual cultivation can be used to protect yourself if you need to. Every one of these, at different ranges. For far here, of course, we need the foot, right? And then here we have arm length. Here we have like elbow length, called trapping range. And then we have a grappling range, which is the closest. If I want to do like, again, shoulder dislocation, elbow dislocation, finger dislocation, right? You know, wrist,
Yes.
you know, all of these things, right?
Go smart.
Right.
Okay, fold it up.
You know, sometimes we also grasp tissue. Like see here, it's like the ear here. Watch. Look what happens. And then, how much strength does that take to put a big, strong man like this on his knees, right? It takes a half an ounce of pressure.
Where did you hit? Was that a point, or did you just grab?
That was the
ear?
earlobe.
Grab my ear.
That was just the earlobe.
And the martial application was just unreal.
One of the big purposes of martial arts was to allow people who were weaker or more vulnerable to defend themselves against opponents who were stronger or who outnumbered them or who had more weapons than they did. So that's been part of the built into the philosophy, the principles of all martial arts from the beginning of time. A lot of the doctors of Chinese medicine, acupuncture doctors, they also were Kung Fu and Tai Chi masters because they knew the points in the body. You know, they put a needle in there for health, but those same points, if you press them, can cause the person to have a physical reaction. For example, there's one point, triple warmer point. It's right under the earlobe, right here. Okay? Right here. Okay. Now, if I just press this point, again, look what happens to his body. Look at that.
Triple warmer?
Yeah. Right? That's triple warmer 17. See, I just press it
shot the
and
triple
down he
warmer,
goes.
see?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, see?
It causes all the energy to kind of just drop out of his body.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
feels
makes-
warm. That's triple warmer.
It's definitely warm.
Now imagine if I took a tool like this that can fit in that spot and shot that right under the ear. It's very bad. It's not going to feel good, you know.
Is that like potentially a fatal? Could you kill somebody like with that type of?
Possibly.
Yes,
See,
sir.
if I just press it, maybe you'll just go down on your knees.
Yeah.
If I kind of tap it like that, it might just hurt.
Yeah.
But if I drilled it in as hard as I could, it might do something more permanent, damage to you. So martial artists have to have ethics too.
Sure.
Because just because I say the snake is one of the styles I teach. Just because I know how to poke out your eyes doesn't mean I need to do that all the time.
Sure.
You know, if you came out in the street and you just grabbed me like this, what's the judge and jury going to say? Well, he grabbed me and I blinded him for life. Who's going to jail? You or me? All you did was grab my clothes.
Right.
I took out your eyes for the rest of your life.
Sure.
I can't do that. Now, better would be he tries to, again, do that, grab me. What if I just moved out of the way? That's better. No harm, no foul, right?
Yes.
I'm not hurt. He's not hurt. Everything's cool, right? And then maybe we can talk. You know, he tried to grab me, right? He said, "Hey, man, no, it's okay. Back off, right? You know, now let's talk this out. You know, what's the problem? You know, maybe we can have a discussion and kind of come to a more peaceful reconciliation, rather than me, you know, have to come here and do all these things. I don't want to have to do those things.
Sure.
I know how, but I don't want to have to do that. I'd rather get, you know, the old saying, can't we all get along? But I think that what I'm happiest about, besides studying with these legendary teachers, is that I was able to learn the full scope of the art. I learned about Chinese medicine. I learned about acupuncture theory. I learned about herbal medicine. I learned about Qigong. I learned how to heal with Qi. I learned how to meditate, you know, how to enter into higher altered states of consciousness. You know, I'm a psychologist. I have a doctor's degree in clinical psychology. And my dissertation, to get my degree, is actually called Meditation and Altered States of Consciousness. So I was able to kind of take psychology and put it together with all these other things from China that I'd been studying and actually do academic study with that and, you know, come out with my doctor's degree.
Cool. Very, very fascinating.
Like I said, I've been lucky. You know, they call me the keeper of the flame in the Chinese martial arts community because I've tried to keep all of the ancient ways together, you know, here in one place.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to go to one place to learn about healing, another place to learn about spirituality, another place to learn about martial arts, another place to learn about, yeah, it's all here in one location. And that's been my my challenge, and what I'm really proudest about is the integration of everything. Because I think as human beings, that's what we are. We are integrated human beings. You know, we have a mental body, we have an emotional body, we have a physical body, we have an energetic body, and we have a spiritual body. And the training has to integrate all of that if you're going to be a whole human being. So you have to know everything. You know? And so kind of updating and improving these different aspects of the art so that I can give each student the ability to develop themselves on all levels, that's what I'm here to do.
You know, Doctor, when you pushed me just now, I didn't feel like you were using any strength at all, but when Dr. Totton pushed me just now, I just really felt myself just going, whoa.
Yeah, you're like swaying.
Yeah, like and I couldn't help but go, you know?
Because I know about joints, for example,
Okay.
here, see what I mean? How you just go?
Yes.
Because I know that this joint connects to this, it connects to your hip, and there you go, you're off balance, right? See? So if I know that, and you see, and look at remember that water boxing I did? That was the first move, right there. That's how it started, was that.
The first move here.
That. See? See? That's exactly what I'm doing. See that?
You know, it's interesting. You know, doing some of my research for some of the biographies for the Martial Arts History Museum and whatnot. You know, I'm looking for pictures of Al Leong and Doug Wong, and you know, there in the background is Carl Totten, and it's like Carl Totten, and then there's another picture of Carl Totten, you know, and it's like, is he a time traveler or something? You know, it's like I see all these, I'm going back and I see pictures of Abraham Lincoln, and there's Carl Totten. You know? But,
I may be old, I'm not that old.
Well, but, you know, you've been a presence, a quiet presence throughout this thing. But, you know, and clearly, you know, some people were like, well, you know, do you know who Carl Totten is? And if I'm like, yeah, of course I do. But, you know, when you go back and you look at the documents, you know, and the evidence, the photographic evidence, there you are, you know, and it's like, yep, there he is. You know,
often I feel I was in the right place at the right time, with the right mind.
Sure.
Because I was so fascinated by the martial arts that I literally spent 7 days a week just training. At one point, for about 6 or 7 years, I was training literally every day for 8 hours a day. I mean, I was just obsessed with training because somehow I knew that this was a special period of time and that all these amazing masters would not be there forever. And so while they were there, I made sure that I trained with them. It was really an amazing period of time. I consider myself to be the luckiest person on earth, really, because I got a chance to train with true legends. And they just opened their hearts to me and just taught me. Right. I don't know why, but they did.
Well, I think obviously they felt you were worthy, you know, a worthy student. Now, you know, and I'm not jealous, but maybe just a little envious. You know, I'm just like hearing this stuff going, wow, you know. So, you know, but I get to kind of experience it vicariously through you.
Yes.
You know. And
you know, there's a spiritual law that says if you receive, you must give. That's the balance, the yin and the yang. You know, you receive, you share.
Sure.
What good are these arts if I just keep it all to myself and just, you know, take it with me, and I didn't, you know, leave anything behind? I think that, you know, the most important thing is to kind of walk your talk. It's not just enough to talk about something or to think about something or to philosophize about something. You have to actually do something. You know, these arts, certainly the martial arts, are very experiential. You can't just read a book about them or think about them or watch movies about them and think you know it. There's only one way to know the martial arts. You gotta do it. You gotta walk your talk. And so I have tried to put together something that is cohesive, that allows people to have the best of the martial arts in terms of self-defense, but at the same time feed the rest of you. You know, your mind, you know, your philosophy, you know, your emotions. Because if you don't have emotional balance, you're not going to be successful in life. I'm a psychologist, so that matters to me. It all works together, and that's what I really try to do, which I think is pretty rare these days, is to put everything together so we develop not just people who can punch and kick and throw and block. I like that. I've spent a long time, over 50 years, practicing that. But that's not the end-all and be-all. The end-all and be-all is to become a whole human being who's able to contribute to this world and make it a better place. because this world needs help. Look around, what do you see? Here, overseas, Middle East, Asia, you see conflict all over the place. And yet here we are, martial artists, who really know about conflict, and we're teaching peace. See, so if we can impart that lesson, I think we've done the world a great service. That's what I'm here to do. I want to heal the world.
Well, this has been a very profound experience. What an honor and pleasure,
thank
Dr.
you.
Totton. I mean, it's always great to see you, but spending time
Pleasure's
with,
mine.
Oh man, spending time with you today was just amazing, and even better because I got to spend it with not only Dr. Totton, but as I said, Sifu Rob Moses is here too.
Yes.
So double the fun. But this has been 52 Masters. I'm William Christopher Ford once again. Sifu Carl Totton.
Thank you.
One of the greats, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.